And if she isn't, oh, we're live now. Okay, perfect. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. This is workshop number 4 for the Boundless Hackathon at Stanford. If you've been following along, you'll notice that we did a series of 3 other roundtable workshops covering many different topics in the crypto industry. This is the 4th one. So the theme for tonight is actually new trends in the crypto industry. Accessibility, privacy, and compliance are the 3 main topics we'll be discussing tonight. Just to give you guys an update on the hackathon, there's a little over 2 days remaining in the hackathon. We've already seen over 80 qualified submissions for this hackathon. So some very promising traction. We're all very excited, the judges especially, to review the projects and start sorting out the winners. So with that being said, if you're still waiting to submit or you're wrapping up your project, you've got 2 days left. So make sure to get your project submitted by the deadline. But overall, it's been a very successful hackathon so far. We're very happy to be able to support it from DoraHacks. And I guess with that being said, we can dive right in. If anyone has any questions during this workshop, please feel free to ask in the chat, as well as DM me directly on Telegram. My Telegram handle is @BrianDora. You can ask me questions at any point during tonight, and I'll make sure to relay that question to our wonderful panelists tonight. So speaking of panelists, we're joined tonight by Wade, the CTO at Footprint Analytics, Yusra, the BD director at Coral Finance, and Martin, the CMO at BuffNet. Thank you all for being here tonight. I think now I'd like to go around the room and just do a quick round of intros from you all, if that's okay. Maybe just introduce who you are, what your company does, and anything else you'd like to say related to the hackathon or Boundless Hack at Stanford would be great. Why don't we start with Wade?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Wade. I'm CTO of the Footprint Analytics. Our company index around 13 blockchain raw data, but also we serve our data as a data insight provider. We index almost 2K GameFi protocol, and also we indexing more DeFi protocol recently. Before I joined Footprint Analytics, we had built things including anti-fraud system and AI models for credit score, which is most of our job is dealing with data. So I also lead crypto trading team in 2020, trading CFI for crypto algo trading strategy.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Now we'll go to Yusra and then Martin.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Yusra Saifer, and thank you for having me here on today's discussion. Thank you, Brian. So yeah, my name is Yusra, and I've been working in this space since 2019. Before joining Coral Finance, I've worked on different DeFi projects, mainly focusing on their marketing and community parts. And currently, I'm Coral Finance BD director. So in our project, we're really committed to address challenges related to liquidity within the whole DeFi ecosystem. So Coral Finance is a decentralized exchange with an innovative solution called Premium Mining that basically would like to address the problems related to liquidity. And yeah, that's a little bit intro about what we're doing.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, your turn, Martin.
Okay. So first, thanks for the invitation. My name is Martin. I'm mainly responsible for the operation and publicity of the whole team. So BuffNet is a decentralized exchange for peer-to-peer derivatives, and it has a completely new trading mode, allowing users to provide liquidity to each other. And it was fully decentralized, ensuring the transparency and security of users' assets. The unique P&L mode, management mode reduces the systemic systemic risk of the platform, so faster opening and closing positions. And also it has one-click copy orders, makes transactions convenient and efficient. Decentralized exchange actually have many different advantages compared to centralized exchange. So first, just like decentralization, and DEX operates a blockchain network without the need to central authority to manage the trades, enabling a more transparent and tamper-resistant trading process. I mean, also there are lots of the still have a lot of the other advantage as well, like higher security. DEX are vulnerable to hacking attacks and internal fraud, whereas DEX offer a higher level of the security since they store trades records on the decentralized blockchain network, which is more secure than the decentralized data storage. Also, there are no sharings here. So all the data that was captured from the chain. I mean, also we also have the lower transactions fees. DEX are often charge higher intermediaries fees, whereas DEX they have a lower transactions fee since they don't have the intermediaries. So it's gonna be the lowest of fees in the platform. Yeah, and we wanted to be well prepared for the next bull run market, and trying to be top one derivative stacks on the Binance Smart Chain. Yes, thank you.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, thank you all for giving a brief intro. I think without further ado, we'll dive right into some of the questions for tonight. And just to remind everyone, these questions stem from the overall theme of this roundtable, which is, once again, new trends in the crypto industry related to accessibility, privacy, and compliance. So from that perspective, the first question is, with the increasing importance of data privacy in the crypto space, how does your Web3 data security project ensure that users' information remains private and secure while still complying with regulatory requirements? For this, I'll start off with Wade.
Yes. Okay. So I hope you guys can have a sense of what we serve for footprint analytics. We kind of a data analyst platform, but most of our data is Web3 data. So in fact, most of the data are anonymous. So you can check the address transaction and transfer, and sometimes you can have detail, but sometimes, as you know, that sometimes the client may leave a message that is including email or Twitter, apart from wallet address on the internet. We also get those information from, let's say that from a Quora programming. So sometimes we get those data from our vendor or from our client, because we serve as a SaaS model. That's basically what we do. So in fact, we sometimes may contain some information in our platform, including the client's KYC information, as I said, the email info. So we also have some other sensitive information for the client side. So this question is quite critical for us for serving our client and keep their data and keep our clients' data with privacy in this space. So for those sensitive information for our platform, we will have an encrypt information technology to encrypt those sensitive information, such as email, and let the limited user with strict access control to access those sensitive information, including what I mentioned is our clients' information. So apart from that, we have followed the GDPR policy to let the clients know the tech stack behind us and what encrypt technology we will use. and what kind of information we will share to their client, what kind of access technology will be allowed to access the data through the database, and what kind of information is not allowed to access through our platform. We store what kind of data is stored and shared within our platform. We will let our clients know that before they onboard our platform and sign a contract. And so also in a summary that we do build trust with our user, and we do take very serious of those sensitive information. Although most of our data are just like informed, but as I mentioned, that we serve as a SaaS model. The client's data is very critical for us. So, but sometimes our client may contain those their projects information, such as the UV or some accessing their website for a certain kind of feature. That those info might not be in blockchain, but in our client's database, we using some kind of technology called a connector to connect the client database through our data platform to blending the Web2 data and Web3 data to help the client to analyze the whole protocol inform with a landscape view, so that he don't have to, let's say, quite typical scenarios, to gather those information from DoraHacks and gather some information from Google Analytics. So they combine those data together and then build the data stitching work and do the ETL work for the data pipeline. But what we do is we, as I mentioned, we using some kind of a data connector technology to build this streamlined data pipeline to help the user with less workload to integrate all the information together. So in this case, we might in touch with some data privacy problem. So we might be able to access some of the client's database information. So sometimes our client will ask for how we ask a question about how we keep our data in privacy, because this is not in Web3 data. It contains some of the Web3 data in the client database, but we index those database into our platform. So what we provide the solution is we will apart from the encryption, as I mentioned, for some of the sensitive data, and we are checking those clients' information with API to lock all the access with strict access control. So we checking those IP with only allow those wide IP lists from our client side. But some of the client may not satisfy with all this information, all the technology we provide to keep their privacy problem. We also provide a final version for hosting our data technology in our client side. Let's say that you are hosting your data-based technology in Snowflake or in your Google Cloud. We also allow the user to host our platform using some kind of a Docker technology to host our whole platform with a white label, some kind of a white label technical solution to the client's database, or to the client's technology stack. And also we, as a data company, also won't be able to access those sensitive data. We only allow us to synchronize our data to their platform. Their DevOps and their data engineer only they allow us with certain kind of permission, then we can access some technology and some of the data, and all the information are kept in the client's cloud. That is what we serve for some big tech company in the Web3 space that really care much about the data security problem. So that's what we provide for this space regarding for the privacy and the security. And also we will need to meet the client's needs for the privacy policy problem. Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you pretty much everything?
Yeah, no, that was super thorough answer, I would say. To anyone in the audience that's interested in what Wei just had to say, please make sure to check out Footprint Analytics after this workshop. And I'm sure he'd be happy to connect with you directly as well to answer any questions you may have. But thank you, that was pretty thorough. I want to hop over to Yusra for the next question. But actually, before I do, Jenny from Animoca Ventures just hopped on. She's the VP at Animoca. Welcome, Jenny. Thank you for being here tonight. I'd love to just quickly give you an opportunity just to introduce yourself, introduce Animoca, and then just if you have any top of mind comments, please feel free to share before we return back to the roundtable discussion.
Sure. Thank you so much, Brian. Hi, everyone. It's really great to be here. I'm Jenny from VP at Animoca Ventures, which is the official VC arm of Animoca Brands, which is a leader in the metaverse GameFi space. So our fund, while our definitely strength is in GameFi, entertainment, as well as metaverse, but we do look across the spectrum. Our fund mandate is really to do sector agnostic. So not only are we focused on applications, but we are very much open to infrastructure or data layers or any sorts of exciting tech innovations and opportunities in the space.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that brief intro, and welcome to the panel. So the next question that I'd like to bring up is also related to accessibility and compliance. And really, it's how is your DeFi project addressing the challenges of accessibility, privacy, and compliance in the industry? And then in addition to that, obviously, what unique solutions or features does your platform offer in order to tackle these issues above? So for that, I'd love to go to Yusra and Coral.
That's a very good question. I mean, when it comes to accessibility, we understand in Coral Finance that the barriers that prevent the widespread adoption of DeFi. So to overcome this, we have been focusing on creating an intuitive user interface and simplifying the onboarding process, basically. So our goal is to make DeFi accessible to a wider audience, including newcomers to the space. So by combining a user-friendly interface with educational resources, we aim to empower individuals to participate in DeFi with confidence and ease by leveraging our solutions. So at Coral Finance, we created the project focusing on addressing the liquidity trinity problem in the decentralized finance ecosystem, which consists of 3 key challenges. So the first challenge is the mercenary liquidity. So one challenge is the prevalence of mercenary liquidity, where liquidity providers deposit funds that can be withdrawn at any time. This results in farmers solely pursuing the highest yield without considering the underlying project quality or long-term potential, and this really harms the projects. The second challenge is the inefficient capital allocation. So another issue is the inefficient in capital allocation. So when providing liquidity on automated market maker and on a decentralized exchange, liquidity provision typically require holding multiple assets. So especially in multi-sided market pool, this exposes liquidity providers to potential token volatility, adding risk to their position. And then the third challenge that we're trying to address is expensive incentives. So the provision of liquidity often requires expensive incentive schemes to attract liquidity providers. So these incentive programs are typically funded through the issuance of native governance token, which can lead to token inflation and dilution of value for token holders. So we believe that in Coral Finance, by addressing these challenges, we want to improve the stability, efficiency, and cost effectiveness of liquidity provision in the DeFi ecosystem. And as we delve deeper into the market dynamics, it's really crucial to acknowledge also the 4 phases within the cryptocurrencies life cycle. So there is the accumulation part, there is the markup part, there's the distribution and markdown. And unfortunately, many cryptocurrencies have seen drastic value declines, with some of them losing up to 90% of their worth. And this volatility is often fueled by the prevalence of the pump and dump schemes, which discourage long-term asset holding and harm projects in the long run. That's why in Coral Finance, in order to address this challenge, we presented like few solutions. So the first solution is the creation of a new trading category that extends the life cycle of a token while benefiting both the project and its participants. So our solution offers a practical scenario and promotes the flow of cryptocurrencies and improved economics, leading to a more sustainable and value-driven ecosystem. And also within the context that Coral Finance emerged as an existing proposition by introducing a premium trading model, it serves as a new engine for economic growth. So that's basically the goal. So Coral Finance is designed to meet the increasing demand of Web3 users for asset appreciation, asset circulation, and risk hedging that aligns with the evolving needs of the market and position us to capitalize on the opportunities presented by the dynamic Web3 ecosystem. And one solution also that we offer is the implementation of premium incentives, so which leverage price differences to attract users and liquidity providers. So the premium is achieved through trading with other counterparties in the market. So unlike traditional liquidity mining approaches, where liquidity is temporarily rented in exchange for rewards, resulting in perpetual expense for the protocol, our premium incentive approach focuses on owning the liquidity as a revenue-generating asset for the protocol. And we believe by owning the liquidity, protocol can better absorb large trades and market fluctuations, ensuring that liquidity doesn't quickly vanish during the market drawdown. So this provides a more stable and sustainable environment for both traders and the protocol itself. Furthermore, owning the liquidity allows protocol to generate revenue from fees or other mechanisms, strengthening the protocol financial position and creating additional value for token holders. And privacy is another crucial aspect we prioritize. So users value their privacy, of course, and seek ways to protect their personal information and financial transactions. So in response, we have implemented a robust privacy protocol, including invest, encryption, and a decentralized data storage. These measures, and also we get our code, our smart contract audited mostly. So these measures will ensure that users' data remains confidential and secure, fostering trust and confidence in the platform. And in terms of compliance, as I think everybody have been watching recently, so the recent actions that was taken by the CES against Binance and Coinbase have had a significant impact on the DeFi industry. So these charges have raised concerns and have the potential to disrupt the growth or development of decentralized finance, unfortunately. So these charges against Binance and Coinbase and other projects, it kind of introduced a level of uncertainty and regulatory scrutiny that can have chilling effect on DeFi projects and the overall investor sentiment within the industry. So the fear of potential regulatory crackdowns and consequences for engaging with DeFi protocols might lead to a temporary slowdown in the investment activity and liquidity within the ecosystem. And moreover, these charges highlight the challenges and complexity of navigating regulatory framework for DeFi projects. So the decentralized nature of DeFi protocol, while providing unique advantages, also present challenges in terms of compliance with existing regulations. So the actions taken by the CES against a centralized exchange raised concerns about potential regulatory actions that might extend beyond centralized entities and impact various aspects in the DeFi ecosystem, such as token listing and interaction with traditional financial system. So the negative implications on the CS charges go beyond the immediate impact on Binance and Coinbase and other projects. They create an atmosphere of caution and uncertainty that can deter investors and hinder the broader adoption for DeFi. So yeah, investors' confidence and trust in the industry might be eroded, and as they perceive increased regulatory risk associated when engaging in DeFi projects. So it is essential for the DeFi community and also projects like Coral Finance to acknowledge and address these challenges by actively engaging with regulators, advocating for clear regulatory framework and support innovation, and ensuring compliance with applicable laws, and by taking proactive steps to enhance compliance measures, transparency, and governance practices. So DeFi projects like ours can demonstrate their commitment to regulatory compliance and foster trust among investors and regulators. So while the CS charges against Binance and Coinbase in-depthly presented challenges for the DeFi industry, it is crucial to also view them as an opportunity for the industry to mature and establish clear regulatory standards. The collaboration between DeFi projects, industry participants, and regulators, it is possible to strike a balance between innovation and compliance, ensuring the long-term stability and growth of decentralized finance. So at Coral Finance, we are committed to navigate the evolving regulatory landscape. We will work closely with legal experts and compliance advisors to ensure our platform adheres to the necessary regulations and standards, as our goal is to build a compliant ecosystem to operate within the bounds of the law while still delivering the benefits of decentralized finance. So just to sum up, I think compliance is a critical aspect of the DeFi industry, and the action taken by regulatory bodies, including the CS, can significantly impact projects. The CAS scrutiny reflects the increasing need for regulatory oversight within the crypto space. While regulatory actions can pose challenges, they also can present opportunities to establish trust, attract traditional investors, and drive mainstream adoption. And navigating the regulatory landscape is essential for the sustainable growth of the DeFi industry. Yeah, so that's a little bit insight. About
Awesome. No, thanks for sharing, Yusra. That was definitely a very complete answer. Hey, if anyone's looking to get started or test out Coral Finance, is there anything they need before navigating to your application?
Yeah, so now in Coral Finance, we are preparing for our testnet, and we're currently giving out whitelist spots, because in order to participate in the testnet and also experience the whole premium our unique solution, the users need to get a whitelist spot in order to be eligible to participate. That's why we are giving different options for them to get their hands on the whitelist. So either by finishing few tasks and or joining our AMAs. So I would like to invite the community here to give a look at our projects and follow us on our social media accounts. And if they have any questions, they can also join our Discord, and the community managers will be more happy to answer all their questions about Coral Finance.
Awesome, thank you. Next, we're gonna go over to Martin from BuffNet. to get his opinion on a few things. Martin, are you there?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Hey, man,
Absolutely.
I'd love to ask you, what measures have you implemented to make BuffNet more accessible to a wider audience while still maintaining privacy and compliance? And then dovetailing off of that, just in general, how do you envision the future of DEXs in terms of these aspects?
Yeah, so this is a good question, and I'm gonna say .NET is often considered to have higher security than the sex exchange, centralized exchange. So first is users control of funds index. A user retain control of their cryptocurrency assets as funds remain in the user's personal wallet rather than being held in custody by an exchange. So this means that users do not need to store their assets in their exchange centralized wallet, which reduce the risk of being hacked by or caused by the internal mistakes. So second is, I think decentralized transaction structures is also we seem to notice because DAX use decentralized transaction structure where transactions are conducted directly on the blockchain rather than going through the exchange centralized server. So these structures eliminated a single point of the failure and reduces the risk of hacking as attackers need to breach multiple simultaneously to manipulate the transactions. Besides that, transparency is also important to notice because transactions on the DEX are general public and can be viewed and verified by anyone. This transparency helps reduce the fraud and enables users to better monitor on the transactions process. Also, the last, I think, the protection from the freezing of funds and regularity restrictions, since there is no centralized central authority controlling transactions. Trading on the DEX is generally not subject to freezing of funds or regulatory restrictions. This makes DEX on options, especially in regions where there's a distrust or unavailable of the traditional financial system. So I think it should be noted that DEX is not without a security risk right now. They still face some specific. We still face some specific security challenges, such as the smart contract and risk posed by other users' likeness. So therefore, whether use the DEX or SEX, users should take appropriate security measures like protecting private keys, use strong passwords, and taking precautions to ensure the security of their assets. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Awesome. Thank you. The last question for the evening is for Jenny. Jenny, we really appreciate you hopping on. So I would like to turn to you and kind of get an investing perspective as well. As we know, Animoca has been pretty active recently. So I'm sure that there's lots of insights you can probably share. So kind of just going off that, I'd love to ask, when in general, like when you're investing in Web3 projects, what criteria do you use to evaluate their potential in addressing accessibility, privacy, and compliance challenges?
So specifically on these three spectrums.
Yes.
Gotcha. So I think at this moment in time, we will first look at the kind of the sector or the subsector that the project is operating in. And a couple of the ones that we are a bit more careful is definitely centralized exchanges or DeFi or anything that is, I would say, closer to handling funds. So on this part, we are much more cautious and we want them to not only have kind of a roadmap or a planning towards to how to mitigate regulatory risk, but also a very strong kind of AML and compliance handbook or practices ingrained within their management team. So because at current point in time, we do see a lack of kind of emphasis on internal controls, especially from early team ons. But given the regulatory changes regarding the industry, we're expecting to see kind of more sophisticated or kind of more well planning around internal controls. And in terms of the gaming sector in Web3, which we're looking at, I think for now it's more entertainment focused, it's more seen as a consumer product. But on this front, we're very cautious on how they would handle with, if it's a mobile game, how it handle its relationship with Apple, because we have seen a couple of projects getting delisted from the App Store. So this is something that we go in depth with discussions on potential with STs as well.
Got it. And is there any like specific blockers where, it's just, even if a project is promising, if from a compliance perspective, maybe it's a little bit uncertain or fuzzy, are there any like main blockers that no matter how promising something is, there's just some things that from an investment perspective, you just can't look past in the current regulatory landscape?
I think in the past we've looked at a lending protocol, and it was the NFT kind of as a collateral lending protocol. And I think the biggest problem or the blocker for us was that they didn't have a good kind of risk management. They don't really do margin calls, so that for something that's less liquid versus fungible tokens, and this is to us a sign of not comprehensive internal controls that could have a really negative on the impact, and is kind of a risk that we as an investor tend to not take. And then another couple ones is that, for example, where it doesn't have to be where the company is headquartered or domiciled, but for certain regions, I'm not going to name them here, but for certain regions where you have marketing people or you're trying to cover that market, it might be very risky for us, because on the news we've seen, marketing teams or operating teams get taken into custody by the police. So this is something that we definitely want to avoid.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense and is a pretty clear answer. So that's really the bulk of the question agenda for tonight's roundtable. Thank you all for being here again. Before we do officially wrap up, though, I would like to open up the floor one more time to my four wonderful panelists here. And there's no pressure to say anything, but if there's anything that you want to mention, either related, to your project, to any of the topics of tonight, or anything related to the hackathon in general that you're looking forward to, or would like to see in terms of project submissions, anything else you want to get involved in, or maybe a way for the audience to connect directly with you. I'd love to go around the room one more time and just get some final closing thoughts. And maybe we'll go in reverse order this time, starting with Jenny.
Sorry, I think I missed the last bit. Could you please repeat that?
Sure. Yeah. So we've concluded the bulk of the agenda. So we're just going to go around the room one last time and just get some closing remarks from everyone. If there's anything you want to say, anything about the hackathon, your project, about the topic tonight, just very casual, go around the room and get some final thoughts.
So from a VC or investor side, I definitely think it's very exciting that given the turbulent situation in the market, there's still a lot of strong builders, like all the panelists here, that is still very focused on building a product and bringing mass adoption, and to kind of decrease the friction of onboarding onto Web3. And as a VC, I just want to say that we will always be here for early stage founders, for committed founders, and we're here to stay for the bear cycle as well. And then we're not afraid to kind of fund promising projects despite a difficult time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny. Martin, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. So since Blocknet is exchange implemented is based on the blockchain technology, I mean, compared with the traditional centralized exchange, DEX is decentralized and transparent and secure. In the future, maybe, yeah, we with the popularizations of blockchains technology and the digital assets, DEX is expecting to achieve further development and higher liquidity and users experiences. DEX currently suffers, from issues like lack of liquidity, low volume, and slow trading speed. I mean, in the future, DEX can address these issues by adopting more efficient algorithms or cross-chain technologies and other technical approaches to improve transactions speed and users experience. In the future, also, we will consider to broad the trading over trading varieties and financial derivatives. With the development of blockchain technology, more and more digital assets will emerge, like stablecoin, FTs, DeFi derivatives, and DEX can, bring these assets into the trading varieties, providing a wider range of financial derivatives and trading opportunities. More diversified and revenue modes is also is a significant role for the DEX to focus on, because the revenues of the DEX main comes from fees and other revenue modes can be considered in the future, like liquidity mining, governance tokens. I mean, we also still need to working on a deeper decentralization, because the more decentralized in the DEX, the more secure and transparent it will be, and the more it will reflect the advantage of blockchain technology. In the future, DEX can further improve the degree of decentralization by further improving decentralized governance, smart contracts, and other mechanisms. So, I mean, these factors are really influence the industries to go further. So, I mean, it takes time and it's a long process for us to do.
Thanks, Martin. Yusra, anything you'd like to add before we conclude tonight?
Yes, I just want to take some time to thank you again for inviting us to today's discussion. It was a great chance for us to share our insights on the current challenges and the solutions that we offer on the DeFi space. Again, as Martin mentioned, we in Coral Finance, we are a decentralized exchange, and decentralized exchange really have there are some challenges that we need to tackle, and that's basically the solution we are trying to introduce and to improve and to basically improve more within the space. And for the community, again, I just want to we're looking forward to hear their feedback about our product, about our solution. That's why, as our technicians come in, I want to emphasize again on to invite them to join us, and really what we're doing it for the community, for the space, and we're looking forward to hear their feedback. And yes, again, thank you, Brian, and thank you for the team for bringing us here together to discuss today's topic.
Of course. Thank you for being here. Wade, last but certainly not least, I feel like it's been a long time since we've heard your voice, since you were the first speaker of tonight. So we'd love for you to finish out, and any last words. Now the floor is yours.
Yeah, as a data analyst platform, back to 1 year ago, one of our goals is to help the analysts to analyze the Web3 data more easily. We start with using drag and drop UI experience without writing SQL. But right now, we also building stuff to help the analysts to using question prompt engineering prototype to ask our platform to generate the SQL and then to analyze the data using our platform. So this is just the beginning of the stage to leverage the large language model to help all the user in crypto space to gain their insight. But furthermore, we in the future that we will shift more amazing feature to downgrade those difficulty to help the user to analyze their own data and to gain more insight and to gain more alpha we're happy to work with the community and also be appreciated if some of the user or some of the senior or junior analysts to give us a try and give us more advice, and looking forward to the suggestion for what we are going to build in the future.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. So as I said, that about concludes the workshop for tonight. I want to thank all of our panelists for being here, Wade, Yusra, Jenny, and Martin. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us as part of the workshop number 4 for Boundless Hackathon at Stanford. As I mentioned at the beginning of this workshop, there's just over 2 days left until the submission deadline, and there's about 80 qualified submissions thus far. I'm sure there'll be more tomorrow, as a lot of projects tend to come in last minute. But I would like to just remind everyone, if you've not submitted yet, or if you have a project idea and you think you can spend some time putting something together for the hackathon, I really encourage you to apply to this one. There's a lot of prizes available. There's a lot of good community resources. Wade, Jenny, Yusra, and Martin can definitely all be a resource to hackers here. So it's an excellent opportunity to submit to a hackathon if you have an idea. So please do. And with that being said, I'd like to just once again thank my panelists for being here tonight and conclude the workshop. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.